Money isn't just paper or metal, it's a shared idea, a concept that exists only because we all agree to believe in it. It's a symbol, a tool, and a story we tell ourselves every day. At its core, money is a promise we all agree to trust. It's a contract, not written in ink, but in our collective minds. A silent agreement that this piece of paper, this digital number, holds value. When you hand over $1 for bread, you're really exchanging trust, not just currency. You trust that the baker will accept your money, and the baker trusts that someone else will accept it from them later. This invisible web of trust is what makes our economy work. Every transaction, from the smallest purchase to the largest investment, is built on this foundation. Without trust, the bills in your wallet would be worthless scraps of paper. It's our belief in their value that gives them power. Money lets us trade, save, and measure value, acting as a universal language for exchange. It allows us to compare apples to oranges, to save for the future, and to plan for what's next. It's a social technology, connecting millions who don't know each other to cooperate and build together. Money makes it possible for strangers to work towards common goals, to trust each other without ever meeting. From shells to digital numbers, money's form has changed, but its core function remains, bridging what one person has with what another needs. Whether it's a shiny coin, a paper bill, or a string of code, money adapts to the times, always serving as a bridge between people. The real power of money comes from our collective imagination. Our shared belief gives it value. It's a story we all agree to participate in, and that story shapes our world. This belief has enabled us to build cities, create art, and explore the unknown. Money fuels our dreams, turning imagination into reality, and making the impossible possible. The story of money is the story of human cooperation and trust. It's a testament to our ability to work together, to build societies, and to solve problems as a group. It's not just economic history, it's a history of how we work together, how we've evolved from bartering goods to building global economies. Money is a solution to the fundamental problem of exchange. It solves the challenge of finding someone who wants what you have and has what you want, making trade simple and efficient. And it all starts with trust. Trust is the foundation of every transaction, every deal, and every dream we build together. Before money, people bartered, trading goods directly. If you had chickens and needed shoes, you had to find a shoemaker who wanted chickens. This was slow and inefficient, often requiring multiple trades to get what you needed. The biggest problem was the double coincidence of wants. Both sides had to want what the other offered at the same time. Measuring value was tricky. How many chickens for a pair of shoes? Every trade was a negotiation. Goods weren't always divisible. How do you trade part of a cow? Saving wealth was hard. Grain could rot, animals could die. Barter trapped people in the present, making it tough to plan or build wealth. These limitations created a need for something better, a tool to store value and make exchange easy. That tool was money. To solve barter's problems, societies turned to commodity money, using items like salt, shells, or cocoa beans as currency. These items were valuable, but not perfect. Salt could spoil, shells could flood the market. The ideal money needed to be durable, portable, and easily divided. Precious metals like gold and silver fit the bill. They didn't rust, were easy to carry, and could be divided or weighed. Metals became the standard, paving the way for the next leap coins. This shift made trade simpler and more reliable. Commodity money was a step forward, but coins would change everything. The stage was set for a revolution in money. Around 600 BC in Lydia, the first coins appeared. Before coins, traders had to weigh and test metals for every deal, a slow, risky process. The Lydians solved this by stamping official marks on pieces of metal, guaranteeing their weight and purity. Now people could trust a coin's value just by looking at it. Coins made trade faster and more reliable, spreading quickly across the ancient world. Rulers stamped their own symbols on coins, linking money to state power. Coins weren't just metal, they were a promise from the ruler. This innovation changed how people thought about value and trust. Money became an abstract symbol backed by authority. The coin laid the foundation for modern economies. A simple stamp changed the world. While coins ruled the West, China pioneered a new idea: paper money. In booming Tang Dynasty markets, merchants left heavy coins with agents and got paper receipts, early promissory notes. These flying money notes made trade safer and easier over long distances. The government soon took over, issuing the world's first official paper money. These notes were legal tender, backed by the emperor's promise. Paper money was revolutionary. Value could now be represented by a symbol, not just metal. Marco Polo marveled at this system, which seemed magical to Europeans. But paper money brought new risks. Governments could print too much, causing inflation. The lesson from ancient China, trust in money depends on trust in those who issue it. That lesson still matters today. Europe took a different path, building a financial system on credit and trust. In Renaissance Italy, bankers like the Medici accepted deposits and issued loans, inventing modern banking. They realized most gold stayed in their vaults, so they could lend out some and charge interest. This fractional reserve banking created new money through credit. Promissory notes and bills of exchange let merchants trade without moving gold, just promises on paper. These notes circulated as private money based on reputation and trust. Banking became a web of trust, managed with new accounting methods. Money was now a promise, not just a thing. Europe's financial revolution showed that trust could be as valuable as gold. The banker's word became money. After gaining independence, the United States faced a crucial challenge: creating a stable and unified currency. The new nation needed a symbol of its sovereignty and economic strength, so it introduced its own currency, the dollar. This was more than just a practical decision, it was a statement of identity and ambition for the fledgling country. The name dollar was inspired by the European thaler, a widely respected silver coin that had circulated across the continent for centuries. By adopting this name, the United States connected its new currency to a legacy of trust and value recognized around the world. The Coinage Act of 1792 was a landmark law that defined the dollar in precise terms, tying its value to specific amounts of gold and silver. This act established a clear standard, ensuring that every dollar coin represented real, tangible wealth. Citizens could bring their own gold or silver to the U.S. Mint and have it transformed into official coins. This process made the currency accessible and trustworthy, as people knew exactly what their money was worth. The United States adopted a bimetallic standard, using both gold and silver to back its currency. This approach gave the new dollar credibility at home and abroad, reassuring citizens and foreign traders alike. For decades, American money was a confusing mix of government-issued coins and private banknotes, each with its own value and reliability. Merchants and citizens often struggled to know what their money was truly worth. This confusion became especially problematic during the Civil War, when the government needed a reliable way to fund its efforts. In response, leaders created a unified national currency, bringing order and stability to the financial system. As the United States rapidly industrialized, the dollar's influence grew alongside the nation's expanding economy. Factories, railroads, and bustling cities all depended on a strong, dependable currency. By the early 1900s, the U.S. adopted the gold standard, linking every dollar to a fixed amount of gold. This move boosted global confidence in the dollar, making it a trusted currency for international trade and investment. America's vast natural resources, growing industries, and innovative spirit fueled its economic rise. The dollar became a symbol of this growth, representing opportunity and progress. With a strong foundation and a booming economy, the dollar was poised to become the world's leading currency, influencing markets and nations far beyond America's borders. A new era was dawning, not just for the United States but for the global economy, with the dollar at its heart. After World War II, the United States emerged as the world's undisputed economic powerhouse. Its factories were booming, its cities were thriving, and its financial markets were the envy of the globe. The devastation in Europe and Asia left America with unmatched industrial capacity and a strong, stable currency. In 1944, representatives from 44 nations gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to design a new global financial system. Their goal was to prevent the economic chaos that had led to the Great Depression and 2 world wars, and to foster international cooperation and prosperity. The result was a system where the US dollar became the anchor of world finance. Other currencies were fixed to the dollar, and the dollar itself was tied to gold at $35 an ounce. This arrangement gave countries confidence that their money had real value, backed by American gold reserves. The dollar quickly became the world's reserve currency, trusted and accepted everywhere. International trade, investment, and savings increasingly revolved around the greenback, making it the backbone of the global economy. This privileged position gave the United States enormous advantages. It could print dollars to buy goods and services from around the world, fueling its own growth while supporting global trade. American exports and investments surged, and the dollar's dominance seemed unshakable. For a quarter of a century, the Bretton Woods system brought stability and growth. The world enjoyed an era of unprecedented economic expansion, rising living standards, and flourishing international commerce. But as global trade and investment expanded, more and more dollars flowed overseas. Soon there were far more dollars in circulation than the US had gold to back them. By the late 1960s, confidence in the system began to waver. Foreign governments and investors worried that the US could not honor its promise to exchange dollars for gold. Headlines warned of a looming dollar crisis. The system's core tension grew. Could the United States really back all those dollars with gold? The world watched anxiously as pressure mounted on American gold reserves. This imbalance set the stage for a crisis. Governments debated, central banks scrambled, and the future of the global financial order hung in the balance. The world's trust in the dollar, and in the entire Bretton Woods system, was about to be tested as never before. Uncertainty rippled through markets and economies everywhere. In 1971, the United States made a historic decision. President Nixon announced the end of the dollar's convertibility to gold. The Bretton Woods Era was coming to a dramatic close. The world was about to enter a new chapter in the story of money, one defined by floating currencies, new risks, and new opportunities. In the early 1970s, the US could no longer back dollars with gold. President Nixon ended the gold-dollar link in 1971, the Nixon Shock. Currencies now floated, their value set by markets, not gold. We entered the era of fiat money, currency backed only by government trust. Today, most money exists as digital entries in bank computers. Paychecks, credit cards, and apps move digital numbers, not cash. Digital money made transactions fast and global. Now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin offer a new twist. Money based on math and networks, not governments. Bitcoin's blockchain is a public ledger, maintained by a global network. Trust shifts from central authorities to code and consensus. The story of money continues, always evolving, always built on trust.